Welcome to the dumbest part of your day. This is Comin Man and T-Bone.
Look, I appreciate people need some brevity in these tough times. I mean, we try to provide that. You can't have a monopoly on happiness, which I know that's what you're known for.
Yeah, that's what I'm known for, man.
Featuring Panama Ted.
Shut up, Ted!
5-minute delays with Leanna Ray.
You guys like Bjork?
And random sounds from the internet.
Yes, sir! Shabakadoo!
You want a shot? The guy is drunk. Whoop. Watch your profanity.
Would you not eat my pants?
Ah!
This is Man and Bone.
Happy weekend. Welcome in. Hello, Bone.
Hello, man.
Oh, we had a big week's worth of shows this week, and I can recall none of it as I sit here with you.
Yeah, I can't remember it either. I'm sure we did something.
I'm sure it wasn't any good.
I'm also sure of that.
Well, Teddy's here.
Hello. Ted is suspiciously agreeing with everything in silence. He's like, you're right. You did some stuff, and it did suck.
Ted is the fine producer of this program. He almost worked a full week.
4 days.
Had a Wednesday Ted thrown in there. Did we do anything good this week?
Yeah, I think you did a lot.
I don't remember anything.
Yeah, well, the Buckeyes had a big week.
Recruiting, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't do anything.
No, but
Ryan Hartline did something.
Yeah, and then he was disappointing the one day because
you were mad at him.
Fire him. Piece of crap.
Got to keep getting all his 5 stars.
That's
so we talked about that, and also the Buckeyes, they got the trademarked this week.
Big week for the Buckeyes.
The is that how we say that? The.
This dude is that dude.
The royal the.
Yes.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson settled most of his lawsuits this week. Browns want to renovate their stadium. The Crew got themselves a coach.
That's right.
Cucho Hernandez. Yeah.
He's not playing this weekend, right?
No, he can't play until earliest of July 7th because of transfer window things. But yes.
I think it's Crew and Salt Lake tonight.
Yeah, late one tonight.
10 o'clock here on The Fan.
That's right. And we chatted about the Portillo's Facebook lady again. We had some fun with her.
Are you going to play the full audio?
I might do that.
Please do.
Yes.
Because it had been a couple years since I heard it, and it exceeded my recollection.
Yep.
Yes. And then also, Common Man, you had some issues with a mouse. And that just set the show off.
That started us off on a good foot.
Yeah.
Well, oddly enough, what was I complaining about right before we came in to tape this?
The same mouse.
The same damn thing.
The same thing.
Yeah.
Common Man and T-Bone weekend starts now.
Common Man and T-Bone weekend.
All kidding aside, I probably had 6 hours worth of golf coverage in me all weekend. I wasn't always just sitting there watching the TV. I was up, I was doing other things. But is there a more annoying person in sports, not just golf, in sports, than the get-in-the-hole guy?
Oh, that's brutal.
Than the guy who just, and it's more than one guy, because it's get in the hole, and then someone else has to yell louder than no, you get in the hole, mashed potatoes! You're just yelling stupid things.
You know what it is? I think, and I'm with you, that is very annoying.
I hate that guy.
I'm trying to figure out, why do people do that? Because then my brain goes, why would you want to do that if everyone pretty much with a brain acknowledges that's annoying?
Well, that makes me think. I'm not thinking about the golf anymore. I'm thinking about that guy, what his life must be like.
Does that guy call up his buddies and be like, get ready, I'm going to do it again.
You're going to hear me.
They're like, no, you're not. And he's like, yeah, I am. Get in the hole! Did you hear me? Did you see that?
I'm going to yell medium rare steak on the 7th hole. Listen for me.
Right. I mean, is that the life you have? Or is it just you're caught up in the moment, everyone's been yelling it, and then you decide I'm going to join in? Is it something you've planned out? Is it something you just start doing because you're caught up in the moment? I don't know, but there's a lot of those guys, a lot of those people. It's not just one person yelling it. There's lots of them now.
But I have an image in my head of what the guy looks like.
Okay.
I wonder if it matches with the image
What's the image you have?
Former high school athlete.
Okay.
Probably still considers himself to be in pretty good shape.
But is he in good shape?
He's okay.
Oh, okay. He's in okay
all right.
shape.
He's got a little bit of a pot belly.
Okay, sure.
So there's that.
Right, gotcha.
Has at least one DUI to his name.
Okay.
And is married to Shelley Meyer.
Okay.
Someone, the equivalent, obviously not really Shelley.
No, I believe that everyone is married to Shelley
But
Meyer.
she's tan
That's
and
right.
has a visor.
I see.
And is probably a Karen. Like that's
Okay.
what I envision that guy to be.
Right. So that guy probably goes out to restaurants and constantly has like the waiter being called over to fix something wrong
Yes.
with whatever.
Yes.
And so then he gets out on the golf course. He's like, oh, finally, I get a chance to just be myself. And get in the hole! And you're like, okay, I guess that's what makes this guy tick. How about
And Karen would be upset, except
Yeah.
she's off in the corner
She's-
pissing on herself because she's so drunk.
she's already yelling at someone else
Yes.
about something at the golf course because she's found something
Am
to
I the
complain
only
about
one
there.
who does this, where you have to go through a whole backstory about what this person must be like?
I assume there have been plenty of people who do it just because, right? But then they're like, just you're in there, you're in the moment, you're drunk, someone yells it, you're like, I'm gonna yell it the next time. Get in the hole! And you're like, that was fun. And then you move on with your life. Then there's the guy who does it all the time. I had an experience similar to this. Went to a concert on Friday night at a smaller venue, not talking like the Shot.
It was Teenage Wrist, right?
Yeah, I went
How
to go
was it?
see them and Soft Cult and what was the other band? Soul Blind. Good. Really
All right,
good.
okay.
If you like shoegazer stuff that sounds like it came out in 1997 and just never stopped being from 1997, you should check it out. It was great. Anyway, the place where I was held about 300-400 people. So what I would call an intimate venue, not a huge venue. Place like that, the band in between songs, they might tune their guitars down, whatever. They might have to like change guitars. And so they're talking to the crowd. There was a guy for every pause in the crowd, one guy who felt it was his duty to have a conversation with the band.
Of course.
But it was usually like stuff like, doing a great job. And then they're like, thanks, man, appreciate you. And he's like, no, I appreciate you. And then like the next time there's a band
there? Is that who?
the person, no,
Hey, dude.
This guy the next time was like, thank you for coming to Columbus. And they're like, oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having us. Like, you're so welcome, Soul Blind. And it's like, okay, man. By like the third act, it was like, can we get this guy his own venue? Can he go and do stand-up, whatever he's trying to do?
We're in his world.
Yeah, it was
We're
like,
in his
we're all
world.
here to watch the band, right? Not you just yelling things at these. By the end of the night, I think all the band members probably hated this guy from all the bands, but whatever. He was very enthusiastic. And
I had a similar experience.
I don't know why you think that's what people, like one time, fine. You're in the moment, you yell something, that's it. You don't need to do it 19 times.
I had a similar experience years ago at the Southern Theater. Joe Jackson was
Okay.
in town, all right?
Right.
And I splurged to get front row seats
Oh, nice.
for Joe Jackson,
Yeah.
and it was ruined.
What happened?
I mean, he was fine, but I was sitting next to. And again, you wonder why I don't do anything.
So at one point you did do things.
Because I go plays. Well, I did more. It's been a gradual fall.
I gotcha.
You know? Now I do nothing. And it's because of people like this. I couldn't enjoy the concert that was going on the stage because I was sitting next to the most annoying guy in the world. Where he was kind of like that guy, except he would have his moments during the songs.
Oh.
Where Joe Jackson, this isn't the loudest concert in the world. It's a piano, it's a bass, it's drums. It's a three-piece.
Sure.
All right?
Okay.
It's not screamer rock. So you hear things
Yeah.
during the song. Joe Jackson would sing a lyric. Let's sing wasted time. And then the guy next to me would scream at the top of his lungs as the song's going on, wasted time!
Oh, my
To the
gosh.
point where Joe Jackson makes eye contact with me.
Yeah.
Because he knows it's coming from that general area.
Yeah.
But doesn't know what a-hole is ruining his concert. Mm-hmm. But that went on for the entire show. The entire show.
Why do people think they have a monopoly on everyone in a public space? Right? Like a golf course is it's a private place, but
having a good time, man.
there's thousands of people there. Like, why do you think you have to yell every single time, get in the hole or let's go or whatever? Like, it's just at some point, a polite clap is fine. You know what they should have at golf
you
courses?
clap, it's
Mike,
fine.
I got a suggestion. Golf courses need more rules. That's what. It's not like they have a billion of them already, right? But somehow that has persisted through all of it.
Well, I was watching the golf. Kristen was in there, and she was annoyed by these guys, too. And she said, where are they playing this? And I said, it's outside Boston. And what was the name of the club, Teddy?
Brookline.
Brookline, that's right.
That's right, yeah.
And because she said to me, is it Brookline? And I said, yes. How do you?
She knew Brookline?
How do you know that? She goes, Me do the voice. Because I get
Yes.
yelled at by listeners
it.
when I don't do the voice, when I go in and out of the voice.
I knew some people in college who were members at Brookline.
Oh.
And it's supposedly the snootiest place in the world. I can't believe they're yelling.
And I said, why? I guarantee you the people that are yelling, not members at Brookline.
Not. Probably not. Yeah.
They bought tickets for the day.
Yeah. Well, you know what, though? Maybe they are. Because I bet you, look, let's all be real. People think, like, oh, if you get a certain amount of money, you get a certain amount of class. That is not
yes,
true.
That's right.
There
That's
may be very well a couple of those people that were the membership level. But
Again,
you're right. Most
Shelley
of them,
Meyer comes to mind.
Most of them probably not the case. Yeah. By the way, also, I feel bad for Will Zalatoris.
Who?
You know, Happy Gilmore's caddy.
Clitoris?
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Ted, hasn't this guy been in, of the last 9 majors, he's finished, top 5 in 6 or 7 of them, something like that?
Yeah, he was in the playoff just at the PGA Championship.
Right,
And
yeah.
over the last previous majors, he's been near the top of those as well. So he's been there. He just can't close the deal.
Close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
What a loser.
That's too bad, man.
You know what I think he needs?
What does he need?
More people yelling. If someone yelled mashed potatoes
Yes, that might
on that
get him
last
over the
putt,
hump.
then it gets in there.
Right.
Nobody yelled get in the hole, so it didn't get in the hole.
You gotta shake the earth with your dumb things you're going to scream at him, and maybe then that will shake the ground. And I, by the way, am someone who does not necessarily love authority. I'm not necessarily someone who likes all the stodgy rules of old-timey golf.
We need more.
But I think in this situation, just screaming random things all the time for no reason does just get old. It's a very annoying thing.
You know, sometimes when it's really hot, they got those people, they go around and spritz you with little water bottles.
They do?
Yeah.
Man.
No?
Must be nice where you go to shop. That's a grocery store I got to go to.
I didn't say it was at the grocery.
Oh, okay. I mean, I do that at the produce section, but I just thought that was me being innovative.
You're outside, like a hot event, hot golf event.
Hot golf. That's what Phil's going to next time.
Golf.
He's doing hot golf. They're naked and it's 100, and they're swinging for the fences.
Come watch hot golf on DAZN. We need to have someone going around the golf course with a little thing of mace. Just spraying people in the eyes.
Right, yes. They're like, oh, for you, sir, it's mace time. And Anthony Mason is there. May he rest in peace. He shows up, too.
Dead? Anthony Mason dead?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think he's
That's
been,
too bad.
been gone, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, well.
Way to ruin it. Mashed potatoes, Anthony Mason.
Hey, get into heaven! Just yell that at the funeral, why don't you? That's what we do now. We just yell things. Go ahead.
Get into heaven.
Well, you never know.
Like St. Peter was lukewarm.
It's like a putt rolling down towards the hole. Will it go in or not?
You did some
Doesn't
stuff.
have enough to get in. We don't know.
How many
Get
flagrants?
into heaven!
How many flagrants did you have, Anthony Mason? I don't know if you're
I hope
in.
you don't go to hell for flagrant fouls.
Yeah,
it's a
I think
game.
you do.
Just a game.
Not dumb enough yet? Oh no. Good news. Good news. More Common Man and T-Bone weekends coming up next. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I love adventure. That's why I play $20 scratch-offs from the Ohio Lottery. If I don't win millions instantly, I can enter the Priceless Experience promotion, where I could win an ultimate adventure trip to a national park of my choice, plus flights, lodging, and thousands in spending cash. Wild! Get started at OhioLottery.com/priceless experiences. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Please play responsibly.
Circle K is America's thirst stop. And yours, especially when the weather gets... and you need to stay refreshed on the go with ice-cold Circle K favorites like freshly ground iced coffee, Froster, Polar Pop Cup, and more. Think of it as the ultimate thirst-quenching, totally rehydrating summer splash zone. When life's go, 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 make us your first stop. Because Circle K is America's thirst stop.
Hey Columbus, let's talk BreezeLine. There are lots of choices when it comes to internet, so why choose them? Well, because they build their internet around you. Even the football streaming, touchdown screaming you. Whatever your you needs, BreezeLine's got you. Right now, try any of their internet speeds up to 1 gig for $29.99 a month. Service subject to availability. New residential customers only. Retail price applies after promotional period. Additional terms and conditions apply. Contact BreezeLine for more details.
The most exciting jewelry buying opportunity is happening right now at Diamonds Direct. Pick any jewelry piece, pay nothing down, and get 5 years, 0-interest financing. Imagine that $4,000 eternity band for only $67 a month, or that $8,000 engagement ring, just $135 a month. You can finance 100% of the purchase price, even the tax. Don't miss this limited time opportunity for the lowest payments ever on fine jewelry. But hurry, this offer ends June 30th. Get details, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com. On approved credit.
You've earned this. Months of waiting, memories delayed. It's time to set your GPS for wide open spaces, including 35 state parks, over 98,000 miles of rivers and streams, more than 130 golf courses, and friendly mountain towns full of original Appalachian experiences. In West Virginia, the place you've been longing for is the place you belong. Plan your heavenly escape at wvtourism.com.
Morning Juice.
Hey, Reed, he's cheating in the sand bunkers all the time. You got to keep your eye on him.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, babe. Like Schleich said, what if you can cheat if you must, but always win or always cheat?
Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Affinity Whole Health.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
Summer's here, and the deals at Celebration Kia are getting high. Celebration Kia, come on! Right now at Celebration Kia, get up to $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. So you can drive away in your fuel-efficient new Kia today. See the value of your trade instantly at CelebrationKia.com. Then shop one of the largest selections of new Kias online, including the hot new fully electric EV6, the rugged new 2022 Kia Telluride, or even the completely redesigned 2023 Kia Sportage. Celebration Kia has 2 area locations and double the inventory. Worried about your credit? Get pre-qualified without affecting your credit score at CelebrationKia.com. Celebration Kia, come on! Celebration Kia has 2 great locations and double the inventory on Route 23 in Lewis Center and on Post Road in Dublin. Online 24/7 at CelebrationKia.com. Credit affects down payment and approval terms. Negative equity refinance based on combined value sales per KUS. Offers don't combine.
Gusto doesn't build meditation apps. Gusto does payroll for teams who do. Gusto doesn't design video games. Gusto does hiring and onboarding for the teams who do. And Gusto doesn't save the planet. Gusto makes sure the teams who do have health insurance. Gusto does payroll, benefits, and so much more for businesses who care about their people. Because when you take care of your team can do incredible things. Learn more at gusto.com.
Hey, this is Bradley Robinson, student-athlete and starting long snapper for your Ohio State Buckeyes. This fall will be my 7th year of playing college football. If you think 7 years in college is a long time, that's nothing compared to how long you'll be loving your top-rated Kubota BX Series tractor from Green & Sons. Green & Sons carries a full line of Kubota products that will last even longer than the time I've been playing. Check out Green & Sons in Mount Sterling and north of Marysville in Raymond, or find them online at greenandsons.com.
Weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Sunny and hot out there this afternoon with mostly sunny skies and a high around 91 degrees. Increase in clouds tonight with a low around 71. Humid and hot for Sunday. Highs back in the upper 80s with showers and storms in the morning and again late into the afternoon with much cooler weather coming to town on Monday. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Ross Caruso on The Fan.
Comin Man and T-Bone Weekend, celebrating all the award-winning material from the past week. Also celebrating Big Voice Guy being a pathological liar. Let's get back to the show.
So yesterday, ho-hum, Brian Hartline and the Buckeyes go out and get themselves a 5-star wide receiver commit. Seems like that happens more often than not with Brian Hartline.
Right.
Back-to-back days, followed it up with a 5-star wide receiver commit.
Good
Brandon
night.
Innes.
Good
5-star guy. I want to say he's also from IMG Academy in Florida.
Oh, really?
This is class of 2023. We thought there was a chance this was coming because these two guys have talked about being on the same field together at some point in college, and now it looks like they will be. But 2 days in a row, 5-star wide receiver recruits.
Yeah.
Committing.
So according to 11 Warriors, I saw this, they said in the era of composite recruiting rankings, Texas, believe it or not, is the only school that has ever signed multiple 5-star wide receivers in 2 different recruiting cycles, meaning they've done it once, they did it again. Buckeyes have done it once and now done it again as well. Julian Fleming and some guy named Jackson Smith and Jigba were the last two that were the 2 5-star wideouts in the same class. That was in 2020. So, that's worked out pretty well so far.
My initial tease was going to be Ryan Day lost one. This running back, Reuben Owens II, the number 1 running back in the class of 2023. Everybody was in on this guy. Alabama, Ohio State, everybody. He did make his decision today, and he chose Louisville.
Okay.
Surprising some people.
That is a bit surprising. But apparently Louisville's been on some kind of tear, I saw, with recruiting of late. So let them live. I'm not totally surprised by that. You got the era of name, image, and likeness. There are bound to be schools that you say, well, it's weird that they would win out on that recruiting battle. But I know Buckeye fans, a lot of whom follow, all this recruiting stuff. Whenever a guy doesn't pick Ohio State, it's like, well, clearly that guy sucked, or he knew he wasn't going to play here. That's why it's okay that he left. But if he signs here, it's like, that's a great pick. Way to go. So I don't tend to typically do that. I tend to say with all these guys, let's wait till they actually start playing. But going back to the 2 5-star wide receivers, it is hard to deny having 2 5-star talents at one position group. Seems like you're going to have one of them at least be like an all-pro type player in college, which I know is not a thing, but you get the idea. He's going to be an awards level finalist, that type of thing.
If we were a show that talked to people, I would like to dig into Brian Hartline's brain just a little bit, just to see where his priorities are. What does he want to ultimately accomplish? You look at a guy like that and say, well, does he want to be a head coach? I don't know. He could be if he wanted to. I don't know if that's in his career path. I don't know if he wants that responsibility or if he likes being responsible for one particular group and going out there and recruiting his ass off because he knows he's a good salesman. But in terms of being the captain of the ship, he has no interest in doing that. I don't know. But what I will tell you is he can do whatever the hell he wants.
Oh, right.
Because there will be programs right now that would make him their head coach. Just based on
recruiting.
This. Yeah, based on this. Not knowing what he could do on a football field. Obviously, they know he could play back in the day. He played in the NFL. But they wouldn't need to know anything about his game plan, how he plans to fill out his staff. None of that. Just based on what he's been able to do in recruiting, you would have schools that you've heard of offer Brian Hartline the head coaching position right now.
Yeah, but to your point about where would he be mentally on anything like that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'll tell you where I would be if I were in his shoes. I would be looking at the college landscape and say, well, I can go somewhere else to a network of people I don't really know, and I could start all over there and build something at a place where my heart's really not in it, because I'm guessing his heart is in being at the Ohio State University. If I were him, I would want to hang around here as long as possible, and of course get bumps in pay, which he's already gotten, get bumps in title, which he will continue to get, maybe up to a coordinator position or something. But if I'm him, I'm sitting around saying, I don't know what Ryan Day is going to do for 20 years, right? I don't know. I don't think anyone here is saying Ryan Day's likely to leave tomorrow or next year or something like that. But in 5 years, if the Buckeyes keep loading up on talent, you win a couple national championships, you keep getting calls from the NFL, maybe 5-6 years down the road, that is something that occurs. If I'm Brian Hartline, I'd be content to sit here at Ohio State, keep building my reputation as the nation's best recruiter, and then when the time comes, if the time comes that a job opening happens here, he'd be one of the prime candidates for it. Not right away, obviously, not talking next week, but I'm saying continue to add to responsibilities, show continued growth in the coaching ranks. Just his recruiting alone would be a big selling point for a lot of people to say, well, why not let him be the head coach? And I don't know the X's and O's side of it. He would know it better than me. I don't know how well he does with that as far as with other coaches. That's not something I could tell you. But I would be content to stay here, have a really good gig, keep getting that rep as the best recruiter. And then if a job opens up in 5 or 6 years here, I'm in a prime position to take over that role.
I wonder what these guys say, these high school kids, when they talk amongst themselves. Because they do.
Yeah.
Top ones are talking all the time. They're meeting at camps. They're sending text messages to each other. I wonder if the conversation is, man, I got to go play at Ohio State. Or I wonder if the conversation is, man, I got to go play for Brian Hartline.
I tend to think it's a little bit of both, but probably more of the Brian Hartline thing, more of the Ryan Day thing.
And that doesn't upset me, by the way. I mean, whatever you got to do to sell it. You know, in the past, it used to be, come be part of the tradition. Come be part of the greatest rivalry in sports. Then it sort of became, hey, you want to play on Sundays someday? Come play here.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get exposure against, you know, you're going to be on national television every single week when that wasn't a thing. You're going to get exposure. All the big-time scouts will be looking at you. And now I think it's something even more than that. Yes, of course, name, image, and likeness goes into this as well. But, you know, the history, the tradition, I don't know how much of that is a factor anymore. And I don't really care when it comes to getting these guys. I mean, it's still a factor for us, the fans, but...
Well, but I truly wonder how many Buckeye fans, if you said, all right, you get the best recruits in the country every single year, but all of them openly admit, I really don't care about Columbus or Ohio State at all. I'm just here to try to win and go to the NFL. I don't care.
Or because I can still care about all those other things. I don't care if they do.
Yeah. Or would you rather have a team of guys who all say, yes, I very much care, but you're more like Nebraska? I think I know what the answer is. That's easy, right? Most people would pick option A.
More stupidity awaits you.
Well, that's all the information I need.
Common Man and T-Bone Weekend returns on the other side of the break. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
White Castle's new Bacon Ranch Chicken Ring Slider is a symphony of savory on our signature bun. Start with 2 chicken rings. Surrender to the tender all-white meat chicken. And now, boom goes the bacon. Crispy, twisty, don't diss me. And here comes, there it is, creamy, dreamy, Hidden Valley Original Ranch. The Bacon Ranch Chicken Ring Slider. 2 for you, just $3. Only at White Castle. While supplies last, tax not included.
We know you can't get enough of your favorite flavors. Luckily, Kroger Free Pickup makes it easy to grab what you need without any surprise fees. Whether it's extra buns for the barbecue or those chips you just can't quit, start your cart with the Kroger app. Kroger, fresh for everyone. $35 order minimum. Restrictions may apply, subject to availability.
Here's a great way to save at the pump. Earn double fuel points with your digital coupon every Thursday through Sunday through July 17th. Exclusions apply. See coupon for details.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching a kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Make your 4th of July celebration even bigger this year with savings on everything you need to get your yard ready for summer. Make sure your flower beds and bushes can handle the heat with special savings on Vigoro mulch, now at a new lower price of $2.98 a bag. Keep the sun off your soil and water in the ground. Plus, add a fun pop of color that will last up to 12 months. So hurry in and get your yard ready for celebrating in the sun. Feels like 4th of July at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Available in-store and online. Color selection varies by store.
Bishop and Friends.
The most awkward on-camera kiss of all time. When he kisses McGillis in that scene, it was as if Tom Cruise had never kissed another woman in his life. When he smokes a cigarette or a beer, looks like he's never had one.
Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
You're climbing fast up a sky-high mountain pass. Suddenly, you blast through a dense layer of clouds, and you see it, towering above you, Pikes Peak. Named after General Zebulon Pike, who never actually made it to the top. Of course, he didn't own a sedan from Kia's turbo-infused, sport-tuned GT lineup. Well, Zebulon, this one's for you. K5 Stinger and Forte. Kia, movement that inspires. Right now, Get 2.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2022 Forte.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Financing for 24 to 48 months from Kia Finance and approved credit for purchase of a new 2022 Forte. $22.09 per month for 1,000 financed at 48 months. No down payment required. Subject to vehicle availability and dealer participation. Must take delivery by 7/5/22. Limited inventory availability. See dealer for available stock.
What will put you and your love on Cloud 9 this June? It's Diamonds Direct's most amazing offer this year. Right now, for a limited time on any purchase, get the best price, pay nothing down, and get 5 years zero interest financing. If you've been swooning over that $5,000 designer ring, right now it's only $85 a month. $3,000 diamond studs, just $50 a month, and they're yours. Don't miss this special limited time financing event exclusively at Diamonds Direct. Get details and more at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
Hi, welcome to Huntington.
Pause that. Hi. I signed up for a checking and savings account online, and the app is great, but I'd still like to be able to go to my local Huntington branch. How does that work?
Actually, you don't have to choose. Just keep using the app, and then anytime you want a face-to-face chat with a banker, you're always welcome at any Huntington branch.
Wow, best of both worlds. Thanks.
You bet. Thanks for banking with Huntington.
Learn more at huntington.com/app. Welcome.
You're listening to Common Man and T-Bone Weekend. A glimpse of all the meaningless conversation from the past week.
Oh, this is your lucky day.
Now, back to the stupid.
Tony Busby says that 20 of the 24 cases against Deshaun Watson have been settled. He says the terms are confidential. Your laugh here.
Sure.
How many hours until we find out the terms of this? Because you know it's going to come out.
I'm sure it will. Yeah, it does not surprise me at this point that a settlement occurred. I'm surprised it has taken this long because that's something that we kind of thought was going to happen from day one. Which is why it was all the more shocking when Deshaun Watson less than 2 weeks ago was like, I'm fighting these things all the way. I'm not going to settle anything. I didn't believe him then. I haven't believed him this entire time about not having a settlement. You know, regardless of what you think of his guilt or innocence in this situation, the reality is you've got millions of dollars riding on the line in the NFL for sure, whether they are admitting it or not. They put out a statement today saying they don't take it into consideration, but they want this to be settled so then they can make their punishment, right?
I would assume these last 4 cases will be settled at some point in the next few weeks. I would not be surprised if maybe there was a little meeting that was held behind closed doors where the league maybe nudged the Browns and said, hey, this is looking bad. We got the New York Times writing articles about this now. This is not just a sports issue, you know, confined to our little clubhouse world. We have to figure out what the end game of this is. And waiting until 2025?
Yeah.
Some people were projecting it would take that long for all these civil cases to find their way through the court system is unacceptable. So you have a choice. You can settle these now or give it your best attempt to settle this now, or you're going to be placed on leave for a full year. Again,
right.
What do you want to do?
And I am guessing that whatever meeting that would have occurred in that regard saying, hey, Deshaun Watson, this is where it is from the NFL, that's a meeting where no cell phones were allowed. There was no email about the meeting.
Oh, of course
there
not.
There were no text messages. Like,
none of that.
They would want that to be, because that's not under the CBA. I don't even know if they're technically allowed to do that.
They are not allowed to do that. You're not. Right. And again, I'm spitballing here.
Yeah,
I don't have any information.
We don't have any inside information on that. That is just a guess of how life works when an entity that is worth as much as the NFL and has as much, and the Browns, right, are part of that. The ownership group there, the Haslams, they probably looked to Roger Goodell and said, hey, we want to know what you guys are going to do here. And Roger Goodell's saying, well, tell your guy to tell us that it's all settled and taken care of. And then we can get back to you on what this punishment is going to look like. Now, of course, again, if any of that's happening, it's not happening with emails. It's not happening with text messages. But what I am saying is, if that's going on in any way, the message was probably sent to Deshaun Watson. It's better for you to settle these than to ride this out and then see what happens. From the NFL standpoint, that will make things worse. It will be tougher for us to give you a clear runway to go play football.
And I understand the Browns fans that that feel a couple different ways about this. You know, on one hand, you want this to get settled because your football team did guarantee this guy $230 million and traded away a bunch of draft picks, and, you know, he's going to be your guy. So you want to see your guy on the field so your team can win games. I get that. So you're maybe relieved that the end seems to be near. At least it is for 20 of these
closer,
cases.
right?
Yeah. The other side of that is you still feel icky about this guy, and, you know, these are supposed to be confidential settlements. I assume more information will come out at some point. Exactly what the language was, what he admitted to. Maybe it was just sheer ignorance on his part, but I think it's indisputable at this point. This guy was exposing himself to these women. There was some touching of that area that wasn't warranted, and that probably makes you feel a little bit icky.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a normal human being.
Well, right. I mean, the settlement, here's what the settlement does for Deshaun Watson, regardless of my own personal feelings about him. But I'm with you, Mike. I tend to think, I feel icky about him.
You and I have the same personal feelings about him.
Yeah.
I think he did sexually assault these women. That's my own personal opinion.
Yeah, I feel like things went way too far with him, and he just was not ever told. He was not ever checked on any of that, and he kept going. And it developed into
stupidity's not an excuse.
No,
sorry,
it's not.
You're a grown-ass man. You should know better.
That all said, the settlement today does this for him. It allows 20 of these cases to no longer be in the public eye. Most of the settlements, I'm guessing, have very locked-down NDAs where the people getting the settlements are not going to be discussing this publicly. They will not be going on a TV show and saying, and here's another thing that happened, and here's another thing that happened. Whether it did or not, whether you believe those people or not, the NFL does not want more of those headlines. Deshaun Watson's camp, and I'm sure he do not want more of those headlines. Certainly the Browns don't. So the settlement allows 24 of those to go away. The 4 that are left then remain to be seen if they get settled or what happens there. But perhaps there's, you know, again, if I remember this story correctly, this was the original thing that happened back a year ago or whatever when the
Dolphins.
9 months ago when the Dolphins wanted him. And they said, you got to settle. 20 of the 22, I think at the time, or 24 maybe, said we will take the settlement. And then ultimately, if they all didn't take it, that was not going to happen. So they put that back on the table and said, no, we're not going to do it. Now it looks like 20 were willing to take the settlement, and that was okay with their legal team, so that happened. So we'll see what happens with the other 4. And if there are more that come forward, as is predicted, we'll see what happens when those get added on, too.
Common Man and T-Bone Weekend.
Browns making news yesterday. There was a report that was released that they were looking at building a new stadium. Their current lease ends in 2028. Of course, the new place opened in 99, so let's just throw that in the trash. And the report from yesterday was that they want a dome stadium, or at least something with a retractable roof, so they can have an entertainment mecca. Final Fours, Super Bowls, Comic-Con, WrestleMania. Deshaun Watson can have all the people who have ever massaged him in the building at once in a climate-controlled area. The Browns came out today and said that is not the case. They are looking at ways to renovate the current stadium. That's their goal. And they're not interested, at least not at this time, in building a new one.
Okay. I mean, I know they have, from all accounts, they had